Let's begin with our top focus this hour, and that is Israel elections, as Israeli voters are currently voting for an unprecedented third election within a year. Now, the big question is, can a third election in the space of a year break Israel's political deadlock? Candidates and campaign slogans remain largely unchanged. The ideological sticking points are rooted. Voting patterns are expected to remain inconsistent. There is no surety that a third election will break the political deadlock or not. The Israeli parliament has already failed to agree on a coalition after two previous elections that were held in April and September last year. And even before voting commences, the possibility of a fourth looms large. Israel's leadership contest comes 2 weeks ahead of incumbent Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption trial. It is also playing out against the backdrop of US President Donald Trump's Middle East peace plan. In the two successive elections held last year, both Netanyahu and his principal opponent Benny Gantz of the Blue and White Party fell well short of the 61 seats required for an outright majority in Israel's 120-seat parliament. Now, in April 2019, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu managed to hold on to power. Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party got 35 seats, but it did not win an outright majority of seats, as it tied with Benny Gantz's Blue and White. However, the percentage of votes won by the Likud was 26.45%, compared to Blue and White at 26.11%. Now, in September, Gantz's centrist Blue and White alliance won 33 seats, while Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party got 32. The run-up to Monday's parliamentary elections now today feels as if nearly everyone involved in the race is still committed despite the two previous inconclusive results. Candidates, campaigns, voters and even the political media is staggering through the motions like the undead, doomed to repeat the process without cease. And earlier we also spoke to Arsen Ostrowski, an international human rights lawyer and West Asia expert. He gets you a ground report of the third elections in less than a year. Listen in.
It's like the film Groundhog Day. Here we are again. What do you think would be here the second time? And we certainly didn't think would be here a third time. And I can guarantee you that we most certainly pray that we're not here a fourth time doing this interview. Look, I think people want this process to be finished. People want this process to be concluded, a government to be formed, and the proper business of day-to-day governance of this country to commence. There's, a lot of frustration, a lot of apathy as well. With the politicians, with the leadership, in order to finally get this done on this occasion. But as you said in the introduction, there is no guarantee that will actually happen. There is not a lot that has tangibly changed between elections 1 and 2 and between elections 2 and 3. At this stage, it still seems the most likely option will be more or less stalemate between the two leading parties, unable to form a bloc. That said, in the last week or so of the campaign, Prime Minister Netanyahu has had sort of the marginal edge, if you believe the polls here, and he's creeping a little bit closer towards being able to form a right-leaning coalition and get the magical 61 seats. But we won't know until later tonight how the polls have, how the voters have turned out. More importantly, it's a process that may take weeks, and as we saw from the last election, months, in fact, to see if a government can in fact be formed.